His enemies wondered if the Lich King's brutal death and unnatural rebirth has been his plan all along. Hi, this is Magic Redefined, and welcome to Commander Friday, where each week we highlight a new commander, give you a deck breakdown, and maybe help improve your game. Today, guys, we have Nekusar. That is right. We are all about wheeling and dealing, baby, and not the gambling kind. Well, you might have gamble in there, but we're wheeling and dealing today. Draw, baby, draw. Today is all about making your opponents first initially like you and then realize they hate drawing cards. So, without further ado, let's get this going right now. I hope all of you are as excited as I am because I love this deck. And here we go. We have up Nekusar, the Mindrazer. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Nekusar, the Mindrazer, deals 1 damage to that player. So you guessed it, we are all about wheeling and dealing. Draw, baby, draw. You want your opponents to draw as many cards as possible, which they will absolutely love you for in the beginning, but probably not so much by the end of the game. You will then be everyone's favorite target as they try to spite your beautiful commander, where all you want to do is let people draw because you are a caring, passionate person. Just remember that next time you're playing a multiplayer deck with Nekusar. And just side note, you won't win a one-on-one game. All right, let's move on over to the mana curve. As you can see, our mana curve hits heavily on that 3, which is where we want to be. But note, pretty expensive. So we have a lot of lands in this deck. We have a lot of mana rocks in this deck. It's pricey for some of these spells, guys. So as you're playing, keep that in mind. You're drawing a lot, though, which should give you a land drop almost every single turn. If not, you're doing something wrong. And this is also a pretty casual game. You're not playing this in any crazy tournaments. Unless you could somehow perfect this deck, I am all for advice. So take a look at that, and we'll move on over. First up on our list is... First up, we have some wonderful creatures. We're going to start with Arcanis the Omnipotent, tap, draw, and move on out to Aether the Silencer. This card's awesome because you get to shuffle a lot in this deck, so it increases your odds of drawing Aether to put those hit counters. You just say, bada bing, bada boom, you now lost the game. That's why I love that card, guys. It just makes it so much more fun and exciting. And you don't need it, but it's up to you. We're going to move on over to Fate Unraveler. Yet again, whenever an opponent draws a card, it deals 1 damage to him or her. And Fleet Swallower. Fleet Swallower is one of my favorite cards. They're drawing a lot. You have the opportunity to mill your opponent. Why not take advantage of it? That is why I love Fleet Swallower. Let me add a triple threat of drawing, discarding, and milling. And the quadruple threat would be Aether, but that's totally up to you. Just come in all hot with the triple threat. A couple of cards in here like Fog Bank are strictly for protecting ourselves. We don't have a lot of creatures in this deck, so it's important to make sure not only we have creatures with draw mechanics, but ones that also help us. Kind of like Kami of the Crescent Moon, Master of Feast, Nizit the Fireman, Psychosis Crawler, Sire Stagnation, and then Sphinx of Magosi is here for protection and drawing because you get those counters on it and you get the draw mechanic off of it. Like I said, make sure you have creatures to defend you because there aren't many of them. So draw, defend, draw, defend. And of course, one of my favorite, Whirlpool Warrior. You have the opportunity with this card to wheel and deal right there What's better than that? Nothing. With Nekusar, it's nothing. Now let's move on over to artifacts. Everyone's staples with Commander Sphere. And of course, my favorite is Coveted Jewel. Besides your obvious mana rocks, which we have in here, Coveted Jewel lets you draw cards. So now you get to draw cards. Yes, you pass it to your opponent, but guess what? Then they have to draw with you. So win, baby, win. Horn agreed it up. Draw, baby, draw. Draw, baby, draw. And don't forget your spellbook and Thought Vessel, guys. These two cards, plus this very famous land we call Reliquary Tower, they are important because you're drawing so many cards. Now you have no maximum hand size. It's important not to have a maximum hand size when you're drawing 20 cards a turn, basically. I know it's exaggeration, but think of it. 0 drop. No maximum hand size. All right. Let's move on, guys, over to Planeswalkers with Jace Balerion drawing. And then, of course, we have 2 different types besides Jace Balerion of Ob Nixilis. Ob Nixis Reunited and Ob Nixis the Hate Twisted. These 2 cards are in here because 1, they have when it draws, it deals damage. And 2, it can get rid of your creatures, opponent's creatures, if they have a heavy presence. So you need some destroy mechanics in here because otherwise you'll get swamped and lose from combat damage. And then Raj Storm Conduit, dealing damage. And you get to copy that wheeling deal, baby. And then, of course, you have the Royal Scions. The Royal Scions is a fun card because its up ability is drawing, and then its down ability is drawing 4 cards and dealing damage equals the number of cards in your hand. I mean, you have no maximum hand size. The sky's literally the limit. This is a 100-card deck, right? Do 60 damage because you drew 60 cards this turn. Wheel and deal, Royal Scions, game over. Next over, we'll move to Enchantments. Dictate of Kruphix. Drawing. You see the trend here? A lot of these enchantments are going to be everyone draw. Like Fevered Visions. Everyone draw and we deal damage. Everyone draw and we deal damage. Jace's Sanctum, I might get rid of, but it makes everything a little cheaper, which gives you a better chance of playing it. Your call what you want to do with this card. You can either put another copy spell in here, whatever you guys want. Commodity's Awakening. Everyone's drawing in the beginning until you have the City's Blessing. The City's Blessing actually goes against you in this deck, but whatever. Then Megrim. Another card I like because your opponent's going to be drawing so much, they're going to have to discard down to hand size. So, like I said, triple threat. Draw, discard, mill. Then Oath of Scholars, making everyone draw. Spiteful Visions, making everyone draw. Teferi's Angel's Insight, you're drawing even more. Draw, baby, draw. That's all we're about. Draw, baby, draw. You see the trend going on here, like with Underworld Dreams and, of course, your Well of Ideas. It's a lot of drawing. This is why you cannot get attached to your hand. When you're playing this game, do not get attached to your hand. Awesome. Because everything in here is going to make you wheel and deal, and you just have to let it go because you'll draw better cards down the line. Play what you have to, but you will be going through a lot. So keep that in mind when you're playing, and don't be afraid to wheel if you have a good hand. All right, let's move on over to Sorceries with Aether Gale. This card's good to kind of clear the board for you. Like I said, you're going to be getting overwhelmed a lot, and returning it right to the hands is going to help you with that. Burning Inquiry, guys, a 1-drop to draw. This is a given, and you get the discard. This common is one of the best cards in this deck. Oath of Smog, discarding. You see the trend? Draw, discard, and Dark Deal all the way because we're going to wheel. That's right, wheel and deal. Days Undoing is a fabulous card, guys. I've wanted with this card a few times because everyone's drawing 7 cards. 7. That's at least 7 damage if you just have Nekusar. Same with game plan. You should have the other damage cards in here. You can win easily in 1 turn. Cthulhu's Fury, you're making everyone a friend. Everyone's a friend. Don't say, well, you're my enemy. No, friends, draw, plus draw an additional one. Haha. And then Molten Psych, another really good. Guess what? Draw mechanic. Woo-woo. And then we're going to work our way down to Traumatize. Yet again, we're milling. Triple threat. Draw, discard, mill. Draw, discard, mill. You catch the trend? And you can play with the different mechanics of drawing, discard, and milling, but you got them both here. Like with our instance, I mean, we're drawing with Cerebral Vortex and then taking damage because number things taken. We move on down to Expansion, Explosion. Copying our wheels. We're copying our wheels. We're saving this to copy, wheel. Same with Faithful Showdown. I mean, everyone's discarding and drawing. And then the winner, chicken dinner, wheel and deal those cards off because you're going to be drawing so many different types of cards, have so much fun. Like I said, you will be loved in the beginning because you're letting your opponents draw. But by the end of this game, it might not be true. Just note the amount of lands in the deck. It's pretty high. We have a high mana curve. And of course, our man, the myth, the legend. He rose from the dead. He'll make you draw. He's a zombie, also a wizard. He's cast so many spells, we don't know what to do with him. And that's what we got, guys, for Nekusar, the Mindrazer. And I hope you guys enjoyed that wonderful breakdown of Commander Fridays. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button and join us every Friday as we break down a new Commander